General Assembly. Let's take you right now to New York, where Komla Klutse is my colleague, as a presidential affairs correspondent as well, and get a sense as to what the feel is following the president's address, because there was lots of applause as a result of the speech he delivered. Even when he was speaking from time to time, applause were coming through. Komla, you listen in live to the president as he addressed the 80th General Assembly of the United Nations. Talk us through what the look and feel has been on the speech.
Well, I mean, describing it aptly is just what you put it in terms of the rapturous welcome and applause that he received, even when he was introduced by the president of the assembly, right from where they kept him moving towards the podium. The applause continued all the way through. Then came to the speech itself, and intermittently, many of the delegates listening in and the world leaders who were around kept nodding their heads in agreement. And the positions that he personally and Ghana have, for want of a better word, chosen to take, they actually agreed with him as well. The issue about Gaza, it put it quite strongly, the denial of visas to the delegation from the state of Palestine, the issue about the climate change. Mind you, when the president of the United States, Donald Trump, opened the debate, it was very clear, the conspiracy theory on the climate change issue. The president took a departure from it. That, yes, of course, climate change is real. And so these other things that he has spoken about laid bare whilst doing the debate, and even right after it, receiving that massive applause. And I mean, just from where we are, he addressed the General Assembly that's just opposite me over here, and he's moving over through that side to where the holding area is for the heads of state. And from that point, from the podium, all the way down to where the holding area is, it's been handshakes, series of them from both the staff of the United Nations, the staff of the delegates, and also the heads of state who are held up there as well. Now, the issue about the role of the African continent that he painted regarding the existence of the United Nations, the UN itself and the delegates in there do agree with him that yes, of course, Africa has a major role to play. And to the extent that he is leading the reparative justice of the African Union, that agreement has been made very forcefully with him as well.
Of Cuba, amongst many other things, urging that as well has to come up for some consideration, amongst many other things. Talk to us about that as well, and what the expectation is of the president after what now is coming through. We're picking reactions. Is a very powerful speech as delivered by the president at the assembly.
I mean, mind you, the last time the president was here was 8 years ago. Now he returns and gives this groundbreaking address to the UN. What it means is that the leaders are going to be dilating on this. Series of bilateral engagements have been going on already, but shortly after this, there will be further bilateral engagements on this, and would, for want of a better word, also firm up the positions that Ghana has. But once it goes into the record of the United Nations in terms of the address, it means that is the position that the president holds, or the country Ghana holds. The UN has it as a record. They would be discussing it amongst themselves. In terms of an action, so to speak, I'm not too sure about it, but these are debates. Various leaders will come across, just like the president would say, they will come across and express themselves on issues that bother the world politics, world security, and also world peace. And so, just as it is also calling for a reset, the reset agenda has been making all over the place right in Ghana, has moved to New York, and not just New York, but also to the United Nations. And I was not surprised. He said the Security Council equally needs a reset.
And Komla, thank you very much.
Let me quickly get Ben Duchimolo, who works here at the United Nations, also had worked with John Dramani Mahama before the point in time. And when you're listening to the president's powerful speech that he said, quickly your reaction to it.
Fantastic spoken word, conviction. Africa, the future of the world is Africa. When he mentioned our illustrious uncle, brother, son, the late Kofi Annan, you saw the applause. The applause would have been bigger if UN staff had done it. And I think we Ghanaians, we don't tout Kofi Annan enough. It was good that the president could quote Mandela, mention Kofi Annan, and explain. And towards the end, listen, girls and women, we take this for granted. I am the product of a widowed mother. I've had 4 or 5 sisters ahead of me. And we all know the implicit disadvantages for our girls, especially where there isn't enough money to send them to school. The president spoke about that using Ghana's first female vice president, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, as an example, or even his own 18-year-old daughter. When our sisters succeed, we all gain. Our girls don't succeed at the expense of the boys. Right now in my village, through the Mr. Learning Center, there are more girls going to secondary school than there are boys. So the president spoke for Africa. The president said many things that Africa's representation in the UN should reflect the present reality.
Okay, so, we don't have much time. Yes. Finally, from you, what happens after the General Assembly debate? Briefly.
After the debate, you can go to gadebate.un.org, reflect more on the things, and then the ambassadors, the diplomats must carry forward some of the key points that is raised. The president said he was going to submit.
So this will be at the bilaterals.
The bilaterals, and even at the multilaterals.
Yeah.
But the president, every Ghanaian, every African, I think, should take pride in how the president spoke from the back for all of us. Thank you.
Many times that's Ben Duchimolo. He works here at the United Nations, and also he has been a former executive secretary. Spokesperson. Spokesperson and director of communications, and a director of communications at the presidency in the Mahama I administration. It's not surprising he's back here to meet his former staff who works here as well. And listening to him, he says it's a speech that represents Africa, and Africa remains the future of the United Nations.
Right then, Komla, thank you very much. That's Komla Klutse, is my colleague in the United States, New York to be specific, where the president has just delivered his address. A return to the UN General Assembly for President Mahama, the 80th General Assembly as well, where he, amongst many other things, spoke to women empowerment and amongst many things, congratulating the country's vice president for emerging the first ever in such a position as well. And so that's pretty much it in terms of the return of the president to the UN General Assembly, the 80th,